How you doing?
Good.
Eli Ricks, noticed him past couple of days. Where is he in the conversation when he talked about that spot opposite Quinyon? Can he get involved with that?
Yeah, he can. And you're right. He has made some plays the last few days that were good plays. Um, he needs to eliminate the negative ones too, and which I think he's working hard to do. And I see improvement, definite improvement from last year to this year.
You had said last week it was time for Adoree to show who he is as a player. How have those last few practices been for him?
Been good. I think Adore's had a good camp. I think he's competing well. I think he's focused with a good mindset, and like where he's at right now.
Are there certain positions where you really need those preseason games to get a full eval on players?
Yeah, you need full speed action, to really tell. I mean, out in practice, nobody's getting tackled, so you don't know if you made the tackle or missed it. We're not finishing on the quarterback. We're trying to stay away from them. So we need games.
At that corner spot, there's only so much you can tell obviously out here, but what do you think about Keely's tackling ability and whatever you've seen so far with Adoree?
Yeah, I think Keely will be a good tackler. He is a good special teams player. I don't think tackling will be his issue at all.
As far as when you guys do have a preseason game, and I don't know what the starter situation is, but would a guy like Cooper DeJean be a guy you'd like to see at safety in a real game?
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. Good stuff. He's having a good camp. He's progressing well. The ILB position has a lot on their plate, and he's shortened through that. But I think he's making good natural progress at all that.
Talk about the depth on the edge. How are guys like Mathis and Ogbo doing? It looked like Ogbo was pretty active yesterday and getting more comfortable and signed late.
Yeah, I think so too. He definitely a guy I think's more been a defensive end most of his career. We asked them to drop a little bit here and play a little bit differently maybe than he's been accustomed to. So, he's fighting through that and learning that stuff, not just from a mental standpoint, but the technique part of it. But overall, he's doing good. Same thing with Mathis. I think he's a big, strong guy who's got some pop to him, and hopefully we can develop his all-around game to where he can be a player.
With the safeties evaluating them in 11-on-11s, Reed Blaken's going to say you kind of let them go and problem solve on their own out there. Especially with the younger guys, what are you seeing from them, how they're handling that?
Well, from the younger guys. Makuba hadn't been practicing, so can't answer that. Sam's been doing a good job. I think Sydney's making real good progress. Who am I missing? Tristan, same thing, making good progress from last year. Tristan just got to eliminate his negative plays. He has the ability to play the position. He just needs more consistency.
Yeah, that corner spot, are you seeing any separation between Adoree and Keely right now? What would you like to get?
It's close. I think both of them are having a good camp. But it's close. And been happy with both of them. And we'll see.
What do you
When it's close like that, Vic,
What's that?
you said in the spring the thing about reps are the burden of leadership. So if it's close between a young guy and an older guy, do you lean on the younger guy because he needs the reps to get better and there's upside?
Well, if in Adore's case, he's a veteran, but he's new here. And the things we're asking him to do are new to him. So that kind of cancels out that argument.
Hey, one more about Eli Ricks. He's such a narrow, skinny, lean guy. What have you seen about his physicality and him being hold up, playing the run and doing the things that a corner has to do?
With Keely?
No, Eli.
Eli. Yeah, I mean, he hadn't played enough yet to know, but, he's going to get a bunch of snaps in the preseason, and hopefully that will show itself. But, he's played good football in college. You bring up a good point. We'll see.
Getting back to the edge spot, you said last time that nobody stood out either positive or negatively just yet. Has that changed with Aziz or Uche yet?
Yeah, I think Josh has had some good practices here of late. He's flashed and had some really good plays. You know, like a lot of the guys that are new, he just needs to eliminate the negative plays. And the negative plays aren't something that you guys may see or know. You know, it's just reacting and covering and the way we want to play the run, you know, the nuances of the defense. He's got to master those. But overall, he's had a good camp, and I see him getting better each and every day. And the same thing with Aziz.
When you say that Sydney has made progress, in what areas do you feel?
Who's that?
Sydney. When you say he's made progress, in what areas do you feel specifically that he's taken the biggest strides?
Overall, the entire game, again, just needs to put some polish on his operation. And, you know, just recognize things a little quicker. And I think that will take his game to the next level. What's that? Probably not.
What have been your impressions of Kevin Patullo in his new role?
What's that?
What have been your impressions of Kevin Patullo in his new role?
I don't know. I'm watching our 11 guys that are out there. I'm not evaluating Kevin.
As a rookie, what do you think of Ty Robinson trying to, as a rookie, how do you think he's picking things up? Where do you think his progress?
I think he's picking things up at a good rookie's pace. I don't think that will be an issue for him in the long run. Just got to see him be a little bit more active and a little bit more decisive in his play, which, you know, with the more reps that he gets, I think that will come.
In the playoffs last year, Vic, you said you'd like to mix and match different linebacker pairs during training camp so they have the background with each other. What's the importance of that for the two linebackers to know how to train with each other?
Because if one goes down, you don't want that play in that game or that rest of that game to be the first time those two guys have played together. Same thing with safeties. You know, we eventually will get to that too. So, you know, you just don't want to always be ones, twos, threes. You want to mix guys up because you never know when somebody's going down and now they got to play next to somebody that they've never played next to before, even in practice. So you want that done in practice.
It seems like you've thrown a lot on Jihad Campbell's plate the last few weeks. How do you gauge when a rookie is ready for that, and how do you think he's responding to it?
Yeah, that's a good question. And it's a harder question, you know, with the practice time and reps not being way up there, you know. So it's a fine line that we're trying to manage. We're probably a little guilty of putting too much on his plate, but, you know, time is coming. You know, days are disappearing.
You see a scenario more where you play, you have such depth at that inside linebacker spot, where you have three of them on the field at the same time, obviously you're talking about not again, but it's where you have three inside linebackers you do it.
Playing inside linebacker?
Well, I mean, you know, obviously, like some teams have a middle build and same. If you ever see something like that, just for a three from.
Probably not.
Have you seen anybody?
What's that?
Last week you said you wanted to see more of Cooper at safety. Have you gotten more to evaluate him there?
Yeah, and just like I thought, he can be a good safety. You know, just the other day we had a route that we struggled with last year in games to pick up, and he did it like he'd been a safety his whole life. So, yeah, he'll be a good safety if we need him there.
We've seen some inside linemen getting reps on the edge.
You've seen
some interior linemen getting reps on the edge. What do you like about that, and how many of your guys can do it?
How many can do it?
Yeah.
You know, it won't be a steady diet of it. It's just when we're in a nickel package and we want to make it an odd look, one of them will kick out.
Campbell's had a few reps on the edge.
He's what?
He's had a few reps.
A few?
Haven't seen anything that minimum amount.
Have I seen anything? Yeah, he needs a lot of work at it. Again, that's going back to the previous question. You know, that's adding thing to his plate right now. And in defense of him, he hadn't been coached up enough to be on the edge and play the way we want to play. So, you know, part of that's him being overloaded. Part of that's us not getting him ready, which is just a product of lack of time and lack of reps.
All right.
Thanks, Rick.